live with no fear.
All right. Welcome back. We have another episode of BILLINICO commentary. Today we're going to be talking about the Joe Budden and Candace Owens interview. This is going to be part 2 of the first video that we did. Let me pull it up. There we go. All right, so we're not going to take too long. I'm going to see where they're at, see what they're talking about, and then just see where the conversation takes us and give some commentary and then have a little discussion. So let me know what you think in the comments. Hit a like and subscribe, and let's get to it.
To my invite, I was very excited.
Thank
I
you.
was very excited about that. But you said that black media never invites you anywhere. It's almost like they're afraid of you. Or they preface it with, I don't agree with her politics.
Okay, so black media is not inviting her places because she's going to destroy them. She's going to go there. She's going to hit them with a bunch of facts and things that they don't want to hear. That's it. You know, when people come with information that they can't debate or they can't disprove or they're not confident that they could defend or, you know, argue against, they're not going to talk to you. They're either going to insult you, they'll ad hominem attacks at you, you know, be passive aggressive, you know, twist your points, or just avoid you altogether. So that black media space, they don't want to look crazy in front of their audience, and they don't want to lose their audience to, you know, a different way of thinking. And that's a truth way of thinking. Now, at the same time, the problem is society doesn't think for themselves. So someone like Candace Owens, we have to wonder what her intentions are. You still have to wonder what is her goal. I think her goal is clear. I think she just wants more power, more, you know, celeb status. And she says she's into psychology herself. I don't really trust people that are into psychology personally. I think the type of person that's into psychology, that's into the mind, I mean, it is what it is. You do the math on that one. But actually, hold on 1 second. All right. Yeah, I don't trust someone that's really into another person's mind or other people's mind. Obviously, you need to know the behaviors of society and people, but, you know, there's limits to that. You know, I think there's a certain level where people can, you know, they claim they're for God, but they don't really realize the things that they're doing on earth. You know, if you're playing with someone's psyche and that, you know, manipulating people, you know, reading people to kind of play on them, use them, you know, you can't escape, you know, God's punishment for stuff like that. You know, I just don't think that's what we're meant to do. Just a little tangent, but something to keep in mind. Let's skip around though somewhere else. Let's make it interesting. Oh, well, interesting choice to land on. It is what it is, though. Let's keep going. Candace Owens seems like someone that got put on and she's excited. Like she's ready to go. She's ready to hit the ground running. That's what I see. Her team, they know what's up. Ben Shapiro, he mad, when you leave, you break up, and your girl, she take off. she hit the ground running. You like, God, hold on, you need to come back home. Come back home. What is this? Nah, B. We ain't doing that.
On why that was so confusing for so many people. And that's what the media, I think, trained you to believe, that this was racism. But the point that I'm making is that then I cut over to CNN and they just lied about everything he said.
Yeah, but I mean, we're going to say the same thing over and over. Yes, we know these media companies are lying. So what's the next step? What's the next step in the conversation? We need different media platforms, right? We need different and new, fresh media sources of information. And we have to produce it in a way where it's quality, right? It's diverse. And I mean, not as in like diversity of people. I mean, the information is diverse. The knowledge has to be from various, perspectives. That's why BILLINICO is an all-encompassing media platform. We have commentary videos on subjects, that involve politics, finance, business, entrepreneurship, technology. Then we have articles, and these things are slowly going to be updated and upgraded, but it can't be replicated because it's me. Because it's me. There's no formula for what I'm doing. Any business could try to replicate it, but you can't. And that's the power of this age with technology. You can have your own studio in your home. Like you can have a production studio in your home. Shout out to all the people that are building these mega studios and stuff like that. But look at the commercial space, right? People don't need as much commercial space. Now, if you got the bread and you have a vision and you know how to utilize, or you're gonna have other people use this space, then maybe I see the benefits. You're renting it, making income from it. But from an expense perspective, I don't see the benefit when you can have a full-fledged studio in your home. And I'm talking about even if you're a lower income, middle income person, you can build a production, right? And it could be quality with the technology that's out now. You just have to dedicate the time and the effort. And there's various ways to incorporate different, contractors. You don't just have to rely on your friends or family members when you're building these businesses as well. A lot of times we look, for the people around us to help us, but you can outsource, with technology now. There's a wide network of individuals on different apps such as Upwork, Fiverr, where you can hire people if you have a vision and a plan to execute your dream, right? Now make sure it makes sense. Make sure it's profitable. And just get to it. And with the technology now, you can still keep your job. You could work your job and you can utilize these things to be more efficient. And then when you have your off time, instead of going out to eat, wasting money, instead of going to the bar, wasting money, instead of going out to the club, wasting money. You sit your ass at home, work 2, 3, 4 hours after work. You know, you're going to be doing, planning your vision, planning your new venture. It's not going to be that exhausting for you. You're going to actually feel better because a lot of the times we're living these fast lives and we're out and about and trying to mingle and be in the mix. And we think, you know, that's living. We think that's good. But you actually age out faster. But if you sit down, work, and when you're working for yourself, even if you have your own job, it's different. Suddenly you have more energy. And in those 8-hour days that turned into 12, 14, 16-hour days, it's a piece of cake. Why? Because you're working for yourself. And I hope that you're choosing, you know, wisely what you want to do for yourself, something that makes sense. So when you're picking what you want to do for yourself, it's going to be even easier, right? Because a lot of times we find jobs and we try to get a job to fill a gap, to make some money, but it may not be what we want to do. So your energy is you're getting taxed on two ends, physical and then the mental, spiritual. Well, I guess 3. I'm not sure how we got on this point, but I guess someone needed to hear that. So let's get back to topic.
They were like, Black America, he looked you in the face. He told you you were poor. He told you, you know, you're living in filth, blah, 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 blah. I was like, no, I actually watched that one live.
Yeah, he didn't say that at all. He did not say that. But if you're a black person and you point that out to a certain group, they don't want to hear it. It's like they don't care. Now, let's go back to what I said in the last video about media spell. The fact that Candace Owens acknowledged that she sort of casted a media spell and now she's in gear, right? She's in gear to go. All of a sudden, people like her. You see where I'm going with this? All of a sudden, they accept her. Okay. Now, when we have on camera the truth about what Trump said pertaining to, you know, black people, you know, voting Republican because what else do you have to lose? And what he really meant, the full context. The other networks have casted a spell where those people, they don't care. They can't unhear what CNN's told them. The way CNN presented to them, the way they displayed the information to them, they can't unsee it. The same way they presented COVID. A lot of people can't unsee it. They can't unthink or undownload what was downloaded or uploaded into them. And for the people that are following, you know, cool. But for the people that aren't following, just run it back. Play part 1, play this one. It just is what it is. But when you're watching television, you are downloading information through your eyes. When you hear things through your ears, you're downloading information. And if you're someone that's really not mindful, you know, aware of yourself and your surroundings, you could be led left, right, up, down. Now, I want you guys to do an experiment. If you guys made it this long into the video, watch a CNN video on a subject, then watch a Fox video on the same subject, and then maybe watch an MSNBC video on the same subject. And then actually maybe do some research, Google what actually happened. And then you'll see how all 3 of these stations present it. You know, it's funny. I've talked to people and they've said, yeah, I know CNN presented a certain way. I don't care. I I don't agree with the other Fox. I don't want to watch Fox. So they're basically admitting they're picking a side. They're not picking the truth. They're picking a side. Now, why do people pick sides? Since, Candace wants to get into psychology. Because we talk about identity politics as if conservative people don't play identity politics as well. They're the group that plays it but doesn't play it. Follow me? They're the group that plays it but doesn't say it. They don't need to say it. So you have to wonder, what is her agenda, right? Because everyone has a narrative. The CNN narrative is bull. The Fox narrative is bull. But the truth isn't.
He can represent us when we've been saying that down here in this county, we've been being locked up for no reason. It was like a bunch of black men and women that were in the videos, and they started putting on Trump shirts, and they were like,
so people that were wrongly, arrested and put away in certain places were identifying with what Trump said. They was like, yo, listen, I know what it feels to actually be targeted. And it's because Trump is rich as heck. And it's almost like because people are poor or because people come from certain environments, they don't think that you could be targeted, It's like they don't have a concept of like you can be rich as heck and actually not liked by a certain segment of other rich people or companies, and they actually have power that can make your life difficult. It's like if someone decides to target you and put all their resources against you, it don't matter how much money you have, it could make things a problem. If anything, the more money you have, the more you have to lose, which is why they're going after his assets. They're going after the thing he owns. And people don't realize, even if you're poor, that's going after you idiots. Going after an American citizen's assets for no reason because of narrative and stuff like that, and opinion and emotions and mob mentality from the public. Do Americans know what that means for them? You don't want the government just willy-nilly taking and seizing your assets. Things that people have worked hard for, your ancestors may have worked hard for, your grandparents. Like, people are so disillusioned. The people that unfortunately haven't made a lot for themselves, they don't have a legacy of, assets and inheritance. And if they really thought about it, that's no one's fault but either their own or their parents. And if you're in that situation and you have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a brain, it's up to you to build that for yourself. So your last name can sustain after you're gone. And there's a foundation for your children, your family to keep. So when the government, starts to go after the things that you've worked hard for, you've earned, you've built, and now it's in your family, why would you support that? And New York City is known for commerce. This is the business state. New York is the business state. Excuse me. So if New York, the Empire State, becomes oh my gosh, they have an influx of migrants. They have squatters. They're going after successful people's. They're going after their assets. That's the biggest state. Yeah, you're gonna have rich, poor, people in between, it is what it is. But if you turn it into where they're going, it's going to be lawless. The people that are rich there are going to be out and hiding. They're gonna have to move to, New York has a certain feel. It's a beautiful city, but it's really declining. But it's still New York. It's going to be a lot of wealthy people that want to stay for a while, unless it gets really bad. So they're going to be segregated where they're at, right? But there's going to be less growth in those areas because people don't want to lose their assets for no reason. People don't want to deal with the headache of the politics in the city, the crime. Yeah, you're going to have an influx of migrants that could do certain work, but still, is it going to be a conducive environment for your business overall? Because you're still going to be taxed, right? Because someone has to pay for the services for all these people. And then it's already a big city that, I assume a budget for a city that big, the variables are extreme because they just have to compensate for so many people, so much infrastructure. So things do happen, such as what's going on now with the migrants. What if something else happened on top of that? What's going to happen to their infrastructure? And that's why it's important to, they've tricked Americans to being so, we have to save everyone and help everyone, when it's like, you have to be strong first. Maybe there was a time when America could do that, and that's what they were doing because that was our position. We were the strong arm of the world. Now, the strong arm of the world was supposed to regroup, build for the next generation of strong arming. And that's just is what it is. If America was meant to last in a certain position. Now, some people say it's meant to be a new global system, right? So America has to turn into what it's turning into because everywhere is going to turn into that. So it's going to be a huge global rich versus rich and poor. You know what I mean? So, yeah, another tangent I'm going off on, but it's part 2 to the video. Yeah, I think I'm going to redo this too. I didn't really like it.